Beloveds, I was just watching a video by Robert Kiyosaki. It was real good. I find myself paying a lot more attention to Robert Kiyosaki over the last year or so, just because, so much of what he's talked about, and I've been following Kiyosaki for, easily over 20 years. But so much of what he's talked about over the years, you're actually starting to see come to fruition. And one of the things he said in this video of this interview I was watching that really hit me was when he was saying, a lot of people search for the passion and follow your passion. And there was a lot of talk about this, so many people miserable, hating their jobs and things like that. And the one question you always have to ask yourself is, what does God want done? And that's powerful, because what it does is it opens up so much, because now you can look at, countless opportunities to do things to help your fellow man. What does God want done? God wants, cure for cancer, people to be healthier, people to be more prosperous, people to enjoy life more, people to have better relationships. People want, God wants, people to have, better communicate more effectively. And when you look at the game from that standpoint, you can kind of take your ego out of it a little bit, and you can say, okay, what skill sets, what knowledge do I have that can contribute to the greater good, contribute to what God's work, what God wants done. And I think that's especially important now, just with this whole era that we're in right now with COVID, and who knows what's behind that. But it's, regardless of whether you believe in it or not, and it's obviously real, but whether you believe that the response to it is legitimate or not, you have to, at the very least, come to grips with it means change for everybody. A lot of change. There's a lot of businesses that are being impacted that won't be around 6 to 12 months from now. There's a lot of people that have jobs right now that won't have those same jobs 6 to 12 months right now. And I think a lot of people are really disillusioned to how serious this thing is from an economic standpoint. Now, sure, 2 years from now, we could, all look back on this and say, wow, we thought that was the end of the economy, and, everything turns out to be good. And it's quite possible they could, because, right, it's just the idea. Money's just an idea. The economy is just an idea. How do you fix problems? You adapt and you introduce new ideas. But under the current structure, it is very at least clear to me that the world as it was can no longer continue to exist the way it did. This is definitely something different. Malls are going to be impacted. Office space, I was driving downtown, and I was looking at all the office buildings thinking, like, man, they're probably 3/4 empty right now, because everybody's working from home. If you run a company, if you've seen that you've been effectively able to continue to run your business for the last 12 months, and without the expense of office space, is there any good reason? I don't know, you tell me. Is there any good reason why you would go back to paying high rent and office space just to say you have it? So there's a lot of change coming up. There's a lot of people that are going to have to make some very, very difficult decisions. And I think the people that have challenges letting go of old ideas that no longer serve them, are, going to have a lot of suffering. Because you figure most suffering, if not all of it, is the inability to let go. And It's not all bad, right? And every bad, quote unquote bad, difficult situation is always an equal or greater benefit that comes along with that. If you recognize it, if you're open to seeing it, you know, if you are that if you are of that mindset, there's a lot of good that can come out of it. It's going to open a lot of people up. It's going to force people to ask a lot of questions and make a lot of, you know, tough decisions. And after the old life dies off, which is necessary, and there's even a philosophy that in a man's life, he has to recreate himself every 12 or so years. You know, after he becomes a man, has to recreate himself every 12 years or so. And so a lot of people are going to find themselves, maybe prematurely, but so be it, recreating themselves, you know, over the next several months, years, maybe even longer than that. And I think a lot can be alleviated. A lot of time can be saved by coming to the question and using this question almost as a compass for life. What does God want done? For me, I believe that what's in my spirit is sharing ideas that create better perceptions for people. Have conversations that cause people to ask questions. Create conversations that cause people to demand more of themselves. I believe that's some of the work that God wants done. At any rate, I think I've exhausted that one. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. But ask yourself throughout the day, what does God want? What does God want done? And see what shows up for you. Hopefully you learned something new or remember something you forgot. Until next time we talk. Peace.